Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. It is such a blessing today, and the blessings include, let's see, we're in a full moon right now. We're coming into Mercury in retrograde, being kind of righting itself. We have other planets that are righting themselves too, so we're all kind of feeling discombobulated. So that's why I am here today, and I'm actually grateful for the synchronicities. The synchronicities, even when they're turned upside down and sideways, sometimes they're a blessing in disguise. And right now, I know that Jessica is not a blessing in disguise. She is actually a blessing in full force here to support me in who I am and doing the work today. Because Jessica, you have been a great gift in my life. And being the intuitive that you are, hey, now I get to flip the coin on you.
Right.
She was giving me some words of who I was the other day. But Jessica has been this amazing being in my life who has just stirred my pot to be me. And with your intuitive gifts, with your mediumship, with your astrology knowing, and then you're a Gemini mind. And luckily, I know I have like ex-wife, son, mother of heart, another person I know like about 16 Geminis. So for you in your brain, I can navigate it. But you being a Gemini, I'm just like in awe of how you navigate life. And so with that Jessica and I have kind of named this is that it's like yin and yang. You're the go, 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 go. And I'm the one that just kind of takes a breath and just kind of deals with what's in front of me.
Literally, I'm emailing contracts right now while you're talking. Like, I was like, you need that? I got that. I'll get it to you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. And I accept that of you. I totally do. And that's the thing about life is that, you've accepted me and I've accepted you and we just work together. But that's the thing about how this day is perfect for us to be together on this show, talking about the energies of right now, because it is so contradictional. We have something saying one thing and yet not showing us a way to go the other thing. And then it flips us up and down, and Mercury trying to say, I'm still in charge here with your communication, which is totally flipped around. And it's like, where can we sit? And I know for me, in working in the elementary school, still just a couple hours, that it's a great teller for where the energy is. I can't tell you how many fires I put out yesterday of kids being angry and teachers just saying, what the, if they could have said it. Luckily they had masks on because they were probably saying, behind their masks, because it's like domino, 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 domino. And it was like, oy. And then today seemed calmer, but I think it's kind of like the pretense to the full moon breeze. And then we have the aftermath of the full moon. I call them the full moon hangover days, because sometimes the second day after the full moon is even worse than the first day, because it's like, holy heck, the headache didn't go away, did it?
Right.
So Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about, I know I told you a little bit, but just kind of open up a little bit who you are.
Oh, okay. I have a couple different practices and businesses. And so you can find out more at journeyingwithjessica.com. But really the reality is, like, I do a variety of things. I am an astrologer. I am a yoga instructor. I have an herb and tea remedy company that has all kinds of blends for opening up your connection and being able to work with your elements, along with like the other types of remedies. But that's in the context of what we're doing, along with like oils and all kinds of stuff. And then I also am a psychic and do some live readings and also have appointments. And what is super cool is we have this class coming up.
I know, I'm so excited.
That Natasha's doing with me. Yeah. And we have like 5 spiritual coaches coming on, and we're gonna have this live class all day long. And you're gonna be able to like learn how to open up your mind's eye, how to connect with your guides and your angels, how to we even have a class on like tarot and oracle cards for people who want to hear that from an expert. We have healing, shadow work, like guided meditations, and you name it, like we're touching it.
Yes.
Like, it's super exciting because like the whole thing is about like, come, let's find out where you fit, find out these things you want to know, see if those work for you. And
Mhm.
just, it's literally jumpstart your spiritual journey. And it's for people who are like, I think I'm intuitive, or I'm pretty sure I'm an empath,
Yeah.
or where they just want to jump in somewhere, or it's for somebody who's stuck, someone who's a healer, who's already an empath, who's already like these things, and
Mhm.
you just kind of got stuck in your journey. And so like everybody together is going to be able to like open up these doors, and it's just
Exactly.
awesome. I'm so excited.
I know that, and that's where my class that I'm teaching about past lives and looking at the past about is that there's so many, and I can claim me and I can claim you because I've helped you, and you can speak about it if you want to. I know you've spoken about it on YouTube before, so I know that it's kind of not confidential, but that we all have these pasts that trip us up, and we don't always see them because we're intuitive, and yet we can't see a lot of times our own shit. And I'm going to call it that. And there's those things that if somebody just says something, it's like the key that opens up the whole doorway to the expansion that we could be. And yet there's another door behind that door, which there's another door behind that door. And that's where I like to help people get through those doorways. And that's one thing that I'm going to do in this wonderful day on the 30th of October of this year. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
So we'll talk about more of that at the end, because I do want to give the website and that information so that people, because the way that we're going to talk today is a lot about what we work through in that class. Because I know that Ken is doing some healing work. He talks about the healing, and then we had Susie. I had Susie on here before, and we talked about channeling and that kind of thing. So she's going to cover that again. Not again. She's got new stuff, but it's just going to be amazing, amazing. So let's circle back around to this wonderful full moon that we're in, because I know that people have been really trying to navigate this world that we're in right now. And it seems like there is direction with no direction. There's awakenings with no awakenings. There's a green light at the same time a red light. It's been amazing what we've been going through this last year. And then I had a coworker said there's a new strain of COVID out there again that's coming from Europe. I'm like going, what and that's the thing is that people who watch the news are dealing with reality in that reality, when I'm not really dealing in that reality. I may listen to it to make sure that I stay a little tippy toe in it, but besides that, I'm
Sorry,
So with
the
that,
Lola show.
no, that's okay. That's okay. She needs to go up on her bed. And the sun came out a little bit, so things got a little bright. So I don't want to be washed out here. So with that we're all going through something and navigating through something, and how can we, I know I have my ways of going. So with that, what I've been doing lately is I've been putting things in a box. I've been just saying, I can't understand this. I'm going to put it in this wonderful wooden box, close the lid, and give it over to my higher power. And that's my way sometimes of managing through the things that are just right in front of me. Yeah. And I have to move forward, but I can't move forward because my mind is so concentrating on that one thing. And that's the way that I manage it.
Yeah.
Is there something that you do to help manage with this?
Well, I don't live in reality, so yeah, it's pretty easy. I think it really does boil down to your life. How do you have your life designed and set up? I mean, I've been talking about that for a couple of years now, and most people have made the transition, but this was like a real shakeup of Lola. That's so rude. Stop. It was a real shakeup of like, what is your priority? And a lot of people, because of society and the pressure we've been under, have lost their spirituality and their faith. And so many people have come back to it. And there's all these articles and people being like, oh, all this spirituality is coming out now. Well, No, it's always been here. It's
Mm-hmm.
people now have been given the time to connect. And so, in order to get through this time, it's really important that everyone just does these few steps, right? They're going to need to find their faith
Mm-hmm.
and their spiritual beliefs. Then, after that, they're going to need to practice them. They're going to need to talk to their higher selves and find their authentic them. And then,
Exactly.
yeah, and then after that, you need to act on it. You need to speak it. So there's a lot of people that like it's new, it's still kind of scary. And that was one of the other reasons why I wanted to do the course is because I wanted people to have that validation. I wanted them to know and be confident that it's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that that's been a huge piece that's helped me has been able to understand, communicate with the universe, know what the plan is, and see what's happening so that I can navigate. Um, and in addition to that, even when you have complete crisis times, which we've all been
Oh,
experiencing,
and they're huge right now.
yeah. And it just asking for love and light to come in, feeling the hug, feeling the warmth, being able to quiet the mind. Because what happens outside your world only affects you if you allow it to come in. And so
Exactly.
that's why we do the things we do, the practices we do. I don't, it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. And no one can
Yeah.
argue the fact that the moon moves the water. Seeing the moon move the tide is like the easiest way to say, yup, the moon actually does impact us because
It
we're
does.
mainly water.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So when we're
Exactly.
looking at this full moon, it's coming out of it's like so in astrology, there's 12 cycles, there's 12 signs,
Mm-hmm.
planets, all those things. Aries is the first one that just pushes things through, right? It's blunt force. So the funny thing is we've had this Mercury going on that's like super quiet. It's like confusing things. We've also had a retrograde Neptune, which is all about rose-colored glasses. So you're not seeing the truth; you're seeing the perception of the reality you want to see, which is great when stuff is on fire. If the house is on fire and you believe it's fine, good on you, right?
I know. Exactly.
Yeah, the downside is when those rose-colored glasses come on, it's going to be blunt force. So you have Mercury that came out of retrograde. You've got Neptune still in retrograde. You have the moon transitioning from Aries into Taurus. And so you have this combustible experience of air and fire that is provoking change. It's demanding change. But you got Taurus going, whoa, wait a second. I need stability. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where's my house? Where's my clothes? Do I have a job? What's going on? Like, everything's moving, and Taurus is freaking out. So, what we need to be doing right now, and on top of just what I've explained about like getting comfortable with living through these transitions because they're not over. And some people will be
And
like,
they're not
oh,
going to be, I'm getting that they're not going to be until probably spring of next year.
it's going to be a long time. It's
Yeah.
still in the beginning. And when I say it's still in the beginning, we really are still just seeing the beginning. We
Yeah.
actually have gone through the whole transition of one thing, and these transitions are happening so quickly. To people, it's a whole 2 years. It's not been a whole 2 years. It's been this massive event, this massive event, this massive, and then they resurrect them
Mm-hmm.
because it's fun.
Exactly.
And so, keeping in this state of a constant cortisol release and a constant intenseness of stress creates a fog in your brain. And so we are coming to this point where that's starting to dissipate. We're
Yes.
wanting stability. We need love. We need connection. The emotions are raw. We have them on our sleeves, and so does everyone else. And so having all of that together is really important if you can sit still and create a very crystal clear focus of your three core values and the five things you're going to do about it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And just stick to the course. And I just strongly encourage everybody that being your authentic self is the most empowering thing you can do right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know that even me struggling, even though I know what my core self is, that I've had people who are trying to derail it.
Mhm.
And it's all in me that says, okay, maybe I could be me still, just maybe alter how I express it. It's not necessarily, and yet at the same time though, I may do that with people who I truly care about. Other than that, I can't have that discernment with me. Bless you. And
Yeah.
so with that, I know for me that doing this work, bless you, that it is about stirring the pot to get there. I know for me, I start my day and I end my day. I start my day with just laying there going, please enlighten me. Please be with me. Thank you for my team that are with me. I am so grateful for everything that I am, and today I even lit a candle in the middle of it just because I need to reshift my intentions. And that's the thing that a lot of people are forgetting to do is that at any point in their day, they can reset their intentions to go, oh, wait a minute. I can come back to my core self. Even though that situation derailed me for a little bit, I can come back. But it is saying, okay, breathe, breathe, be here, be now. And
Mhm.
that moment does reset us a lot of times. And then at the end of the day, I do the same thing. How can I be? How can I be me? Thank you for everything that came into an alignment with me today. Thank you for the things that didn't come into an alignment with me because it was a good teaching moment. Because nobody's perfect. Life isn't perfect for us either. So thank you for mentioning those things. That's because that is the core thing about what we're supposed to be doing right now is that even though things are derailing us, we're getting things in the news. We're getting this over here. We're getting that over there. Those are all outside of us. What is our own moments?
Your
What
own
is our
truth.
own truths? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then speaking it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
really,
Exactly.
really important. Don't keep it inside. And I say that because when you keep it inside, you're just manifesting.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. It's that circle that keeps going around and around. And we are manifesting our thoughts right now. It's amazing.
Mhm.
We tell ourselves, oh, I'm feeling icky, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling sick. Well, then what do you end up being? Icky, tired, and sick.
Mhm. Yeah. That's why people write affirmations.
I know. And I'm grateful actually. My dad was one that I heard from day one affirmations. He'd be like feeling low and stuff, and all of a sudden I'd hear, get excited, and him be doing that, walking through the house, and I'm like going, okay, I think my dad's got something here. I didn't know it at the time, but now it's like I'm finding these papers that he's writing. Like I have these affirmations that he wrote, and it just popped out of my notebook. My
Yeah.
dad's been gone now 28 years. And so with that I found this notebook and I'm like going, he was even including my mom in an affirmation.
That's cool.
It's like, wow. And this was in the 70s, 80s. I think I was pretty damn lucky, actually. So, Jessica, thank you for everything. Because I know for you, your life is in observation. I mean, I know my life is crazy.
Bring it.
So with this, that I hope I can say this is that let's see, we have this thing coming up on the 30th, and you've been the main instigator of getting the website together, I mean, you've had help, but yet you are the main brain in the telling these other brains what to do. And then you decided to buy a house
Mhm.
in the midst of all this.
Mhm.
And you have a new dog. Actually, you
Mhm.
have two new dogs that you've collected since summertime. You have also have another one coming in the fall, or in the
The
winter
winter.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, the winter. And then we've talked about this house, and I don't want to go there in this show, but we've talked about the house you're moving into, and it's going to take the both of us to navigate through some of the stuff that's in this house by clearing it out. So with that you don't go through life with an unstirred pot.
No. No.
Oh, and you started a new job. That's the other thing. You
Right.
started a new job. And this is the normalcy for you. Not
Yeah.
moving, not necessarily the moving, but that moving represents something else at another time. The funnel or the show is another thing that has been represented another time. So these things are just the applications of what is a normalcy.
Yes. Yeah. No, I function in chaos. And when there's nothing going on, I still find things to do it, right? So
Yes.
I might bake like 8 things, or like book myself appointments back to back, or I might sign up for classes and get certified in something new, or get another degree. Like I always I just have this vivacious appetite for learning and doing.
Hmm.
And I just, well, me being a double Gemini, a big foundation of what I do is communication and information. So I can take in an insane amount of information, process it, and distribute it back out in a manner that's consumptible to other people. And
Yes.
so it's just like this crazy cycle. So I learn something, I master it, and then I move on after I teach it to everyone else. And I always just think people come into your life for a reason at a certain time, and boom, that's because they needed to learn that thing I knew, or
Hmm.
what have you. And it's just like this ongoing cycle. And then the dogs are, they weren't necessarily like planned very well. I mean, I've been planning them for a long time. But here's the funny thing. So my dog I had passed, which
Hmm.
but after she passed, I had already been on a waiting list for Lola, who's hanging out here on my desk. Like literally, that's how small she is. She sleeps on my desk, and she's like 5 pounds, little tiny thing. So she's got a little blanket here and just sleeps on it. Well, that was planned. It wasn't necessarily planned the way she came, but it happened. But what happened is my other dog. So we had 3 dogs. My other dog started getting sick, and when she started getting sick, my husband got sad, and so he got a puppy. I didn't get a puppy. He got a puppy. Puppies are a lot of work, and
They
he wanted
are.
a
They
big
are.
puppy. And so we've got that going on, and that's why it's like more and more push to getting this new house, because she's a runner. She's a bird dog. She needs
Mhm.
lots of room to run. We live in the city now, and it's less than a half an acre, which I know for some people they're like, that's a lot. Well, not when you have 4 dogs. So we have 4 dogs. We both work from home full time during the day. I operate the businesses in the evening, and on the weekends, and then do all the classes and trainings, and try to connect with everyone else. And then the house is perfect because it's bigger. It's got all the stuff in place to manufacture and to have classes and retreats. And it also has got plenty of land for the dogs to run. And there's a whole barn that's going to get resurrected. So there's so many things there that it was like, yep, one more move, one more move.
One more move. And that's the thing is that, we have all these core things about us. Like you have a double Gemini. I have a double Cancerian. I don't like the word cancer. Cancerian. I've had it to touch my life too many times. So it's like, that's another manifesting thing that I've shifted.
Mhm.
So then you're dealing with your mind because Gemini is about air. Cancer is about water, which is about emotions. So I'm not, so we all have these things that make us who we are. And people, I think, in a way, struggle accepting those parts of ourselves that, yes, they're benefits. Your mind being able to just go with knowledge. I'm just in awe of it sometimes. But I've also known some other double Geminis, and it's like, how much can you hold in that noggin of yours?
So much, so
It's
much.
like it's like, yeah, it's the unused parts that still you have this other section that's still not unused, but yet you use more than what some of us do. I use my brain in a different way than you do yours. But we have these parts of us that people have a hard time accepting. Like for me, with my emotions, through a lot of it, it was like I had to figure out where to put my emotions, where to put this part of me that cared so deeply, and yet I was not a caring mom. I cared. I was a very caring mom, but I was always a little bit detached. It's like, so I care deeply. There's this little bit of detachment. And I'm like going, where is that? Oh, my Aries fire. Water and fire.
Mhm.
It makes good steam, and if I keep it that way, which means then I show emotions, and I show care, and yet I keep this passion building for me too. I think the universe needed to make me an only child too, to get that little bit of selfishness in me. So yeah, it is this lifetime right now is really creating the stirred up pot, so we can see the all sides of us. And some people call it the shadow work that we do. Some people call it the negative parts of us. Some people call it the passive aggressive parts of us that pops out when we don't want it to. It's those things that balance. But right now the universe is really helping us to awaken to those parts of us, to know that even though they may seem perceived negative, they're actually just part of the bigger puzzle that makes us this wonderful gift of who we are,
Mhm.
and I'm so grateful. Now, I'm going to say, though, that in observation, and you've talked about this, that's why I know I can talk about it now, is that, with your go, 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 need to go, 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 that your body is struggling with some ailments.
Uh-huh.
And there's a cause and effect for a lot of things. For me, being emotional, sometimes I just physically have to shut down because I just get so overwhelmed with care, with what's going on around me. So, like yesterday, I was in between this and nowhere. And I couldn't read, I couldn't do anything. I was kind of dead. So, with not dead, canceled, declared, I was emotionally flatlined. There we go.
Yeah.
That as we go through things, that there is these things that we have to take care of too. And that's another thing that the universe is waking us up to. How can we take care of us through the midst of all this shit?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's why, like, when we did design the curriculum and I was putting that together, I put in that whole section about like the mind, body, spirit connection,
Mm-hmm.
because taking care of your body
It's
is something that so many people overlook.
mm-hmm.
And your body is, yeah, it's a temporary cell for your soul, but at the same time, your spirit and energy charge it. So if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not taking care of it, you're gonna have to, depending on your beliefs, you're gonna have to reincarnate and do the
Mm-hmm.
whole damn thing over again because you never even lived out the whole lesson you were supposed to go through and the whole
Exactly.
experience you're supposed to have. And so, like, to your point, like, I have in my sixth house, and due to my out of bounds Mars, I have multiple autoimmune diseases. And that's kind of how I ended up sparking into the natural healing and clean living and having the herbs and the teas of Rabbit's Pantry, because I had no options. I was reacting to everything. In addition to reacting to everything, I just kept getting worse. And so about my eighth surgery in, I was just like, cannot be my life. Like, I just, there's gotta be
Mm-hmm.
something. And the alternative medicines that they were offering me, I didn't ethically agree with. And so I was like, I got to figure something out because I can't take anything and they can't treat me. And I was really lucky that my rheumatologist was who she was, because she just sat there, went to me one day and said, the problem is you have a mind, body, spirit disconnect. And I was like, how can that be possible? Like, you know who I am, right? Like, how is that possible? But it really was. I was in the rat
Mm-hmm.
race. I was plowing through, getting things done. And to your point, I mean, obviously all that's been resolved, and I'm good. But when I don't acknowledge that I need to take care of myself, I end up falling off the deep end. So it's now just at every 6 months, which is good. And so, like, every 6 months I go in, I get a blood draw done. We check all of the things. I have a journal to keep track of everything. Because again, remember, like, I go, go, go. And so, like, there's things that, like, you're not going to, only other Geminis, depending on how Gemini they are, can understand this. There is no time for the bathroom. The bathroom's a waste of time. Okay, fine. Like,
That's what I love about you guys.
Yeah, your body just has to function. It's super annoying. You have to eat. Eating at least once a day. So like I keep like these things of almonds on my desk. Sorry, Lola. And I keep like things of water because I just refill them when I get up. And so when I leave my room, I take them with me so that I can refill them and bring them back. Because if it weren't that way, I don't drink water, I don't eat,
Mhm.
I don't go to the bathroom. So the bonus of not eating or drinking anything is you don't go to the bathroom. And so now you have more time to do things. The
Yeah, yeah.
problem to that, and I'll attest to that, is there you can actually get malnutrition and you can get
Yes.
kidney stones from this, and you can get dehydrated and have seizures. Like there's all kinds of fun side effects that come with it.
And
So,
obviously, you've navigated a few of those.
right? And so like there's some things that I've been able to manage and get through and overcome.
Mhm.
And then there's others that are just part of it. And so you'll hear people talk about Akashic records and things like
Yes.
that.
Mhm.
And they'll say, oh, I can break your contract. And I'm like, you don't know who I am. I assure you, this is not breakable. You're not the first one to offer, actually. And or
Yes.
try. So there are some things, and you look at my chart and go, yeah, that's your life pattern. But because of my prior past lives, my current life had to be set up with challenges because I lacked empathy, I lacked sympathy, I lacked humanity. I was um I was a very fortunate person for several lives. And
Mhm.
because of it, it put me in a position where I needed a reset. And so I have had experienced insane amounts of loss. I've experienced a lot of tragedy and trauma. I have experienced like things that it's just unbelievable. And I never would have had that experience before. And without those experiences, I wouldn't be here today. I would still be reading textbooks and just focused on growing my knowledge.
Mhm.
And so I've become a much more well rounded person. I have empathy, I have sympathy, I have struggled enough to where um, I can't even believe people are always like, "Did you should write a book?" I'm like, I know. I just don't have time. Who can sit still that long? Um,
Here.
Right? I'm like, okay, tape a recorder to me. That's how we're going to get this done, which is the only way it's been getting done. So it's been getting transcribed. But regardless of that, like it's crazy because it is a lot. And when I think about, gosh, it's been so much, instead of going, gosh, it's been so much, like what is going on? I had moments in my life where I was like, what is the purpose of all of this?
It's
And
to
that's
wake
where
up that part of you that has been asleep for a couple lifetimes.
yeah, and bringing in the astrology really helped me understand these are the challenges you're going to have. These are the things you have the opportunity to overcome. And how are you going to do it? That's not always in a chart. I mean, you could
Mhm.
find it in a chart, but I can't sit still long enough on my own chart. And when I ask other astrologers, they usually don't want to dig that deep either. So, but
I hear you. I struggle with meditation.
yeah,
I can put people in the deepest meditations. For me,
yeah. There's a
so
couple of practitioners that call me just to walk them through meditations. And I'm like, oh, but it's the same thing. They're like, I can't quiet the noise. Just walk me through this. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, put the phone on
exactly.
speaker. Let's do it. Um, but it is a journey, and everyone's spiritual journey is different and uniquely their own. Your a chart can give you this perspective of what has happened, what is currently happening, and what has potential to happen, and who you are in your makeup. But free will depicts how
It's
all that's going to
huge.
roll out.
Yes,
And
exactly.
yeah, and at the same time, if you take the steps for a spiritual growth and a spiritual journey and you grow in the understanding of the universe. I mean, I remember finally feeling so okay when someone finally talked to me about like, oh no, there's other realms and universes. And I was like, oh thank God. Okay, so now we can talk because here's the deal. And I'm like, this is happening, that's happening, and these people, and I just didn't know how to put that into words.
Exactly. And that's the thing that, during COVID, I was grateful that the universe said, okay, girls, you're going to speak every week. And we just opened up, and it was such a gift because it was like we would go from yin to yang and slide in and out of conversations, but it was like it was amazing where it didn't matter if we were talking about the zillions of transform or dimensions to do you like apples on your oatmeal? It's
Yeah,
like
we did have that conversation.
it's just one of those things that it's been a gift. But that's the thing that each sign, like for me, I know that you've been dealing with like your nervous system because you've kind of shorted out your nervous system a couple times. Me, I'm dealing with the organs that are dealing with emotions, my adrenals, my liver, my gallbladder, and even, kind of a little bit how my food gets digested, you know. And so with that each sign that we go through, it's amazing how we can find out kind of that, yeah, like I didn't realize, I heard from somebody else that Aries struggle with headaches.
The
And I'm
can.
like, they can. Okay, that makes more sense to me that I go to headaches before I go to other scenarios.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, now I know how to manage them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's talking to Aries part of me saying, okay, we don't need to go into the pain, which I've actually altered that. I go into a mock migraine, I call them, instead of just a migraine where I'm flat out on the couch. I go where I can't think. I'm a little emotional, but yet I can manage life now because I've talked to them. That's the thing about life. People forget that they can talk to these parts of themselves and kind of say, you know what, we got to buck up.
Mhm.
I'll honor you. Like you've done this. Okay, I'll honor you, but we still got to do what we're going to do.
It's a negotiation.
It is a negotiation, and our body is the vessel of that negotiation. Because I can tell you, seeing in your past lives, if I can give this to you, that you have been a Gemini many times, and you've known that, yeah, exactly. And you've had, maybe not to this extent with this technology, but you've been where you have been a facet. I can see you being like somebody like Astradamus, and you were his one of his kind of writers, I guess you call
Okay.
it, but not necessarily him, but you were that kind of I can see you doing that kind of thing. And that's where we have these things in ourselves that, like, for me, I know my soul's been dyslexic more times than I can say, yeah, that was right. And so we have these things that theme us through our lifetimes. And it's amazing how when we do that, and it seems like in this lifetime, I'm seeing people kind of clicking into fifth gear. If you're driving a stick shift and you click into fifth gear, you're just kind of going with it. But people don't realize that this body is a part of our walk.
Yeah, it's huge. And that was one of the things that when I was doing astrology solely, it was again what spawned Rabbit's Pantry, because I was pulling up people's charts and immediately started seeing all these health ailments. And it was like, well, here's the best way to care for your body. This is what your body needs. And like with mine, I need quick foods, low fat foods, tons of carbs, which people are just like, what? And I'm like,
Mhm.
I run on carbs, and fat I just transfer straight into my wall of my arteries, which is great. So but so there's certain things that I'm like, I know what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. Um, but diet's a big one for me, right? There's
Mhm.
other people who physically have to be runners. They have to be carnivores. They have to, like everyone has their own things. Different vitamins and supplements, different exercises, different foods, different lifestyles. All of that is in the chart. And so a lot of times we would build someone's custom tea designed around their body's needs. Lots
Mhm.
of people are lacking. For example, more and more people are born with the headaches and migraines. And there's more and more people born with deficiencies in like iron and B12 and vitamin D. There's all these things that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that back. It's not that difficult. It's just putting in the right herbs, eating the right things, doing the right things. And then you can get full relief from your migraines. Like I wake up every day to a migraine. I honestly was so used to them. I hadn't noticed until I went in and had an MRI done because they were trying to figure out why I was seizuring. And the migraines were that intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, no, I have a headache right now. And then they were like, no, 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 we're looking at your scan. You're having a full blown migraine. And I was like, well, the spots go away eventually. It's just bright in here. It's making
Yeah.
up all these excuses. But since
I can
then,
empathize with that statement.
yeah. And since then, I have put like the right supplements in my diet. I've added and it, like the tea make it stop. That's literally designed for migraines, right? And I drink that tea every day. And so in the morning, the first thing I do is because I'm a Gemini, I might not eat the rest of the day until someone tells me I need to. So the first thing I do in the morning is I have a little shake and it has everything I need in it, all my vitamins, all my supplements. I use a tincture now for the make it stop instead of drinking the tea because that became like I was walking out of the house. I got like 3 cups and I'm like, I'm gonna drink everything today. So now all of
There
it,
again is the stages we all go through to learn.
right? So now all of it is just in this one shaker. And I just shake it out, drink it, and within minutes of drinking it, my headache's gone, my migraine's gone, my body doesn't hurt, everything's calming down, the inflammation removes itself, and all these other ailments I have, and boom, I'm ready to go for the day, and I can go the whole day like that. And so and then I just keep track of it throughout the day, right? That was what was in my chart. That
Mm-hmm.
was also part, like you're saying, like part of the past. Your chart is connected to your past. That's why there's
Exactly.
nodes in your chart. It's connecting your past to your future.
Yes, and that's where if we are willing to say there's something greater than us at work here, and you tune into those navigations, it's amazing how much it's kind of nice to be naive and not necessarily understand things, but yet at the same time though, I notice that when like I know right now I'm getting my vertigo. The last 3 times I've gotten vertigo is when I've gone into the other platforms of the universe. And it's like, okay, how can I manage this vertigo in the midst of having a session with someone? Or those kinds of things. And I know that as we work through life, it's like, and I know not everybody, like I've had people say, Natasha, not everybody looks at the world like you do. I go, I know, that's why it's nice to talk with somebody like Jessica. Because we have to talk with somebody who understands the understanding. And because sometimes we say things and we know it's truth, but we don't understand it, because we're just saying it for the first time in the reality that we are. And it's just amazing where we're at in this world right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is awakening in us, and where are we going to get to it? And how are we going to get from point A to point 3 and not really see where point 2 is yet? And that's part of coming back to home, which is us. It's about our own home, our own bodies, our own beings. And I know I've been hearing I need to get together with you to give me a tea, but I have to make sure there's one thing that's not in it because it puts me to sleep right away. And it's in the Cancer tea.
Right. We talked about it.
Yeah, because I'm out within 20 minutes of drinking that. But I don't stay out. It just puts me into that out moment, and then I wake back up, and then it's like, oh crap, now I'm awake for hours. So it's not a good out. But when we're going through life and managing this, that's where and I said this in the moment of what we were going to talk about. We cannot walk through this life alone, and it's just not one person to talk to either. It is good. I like it when somebody can kind of I like it when people can have like 5 sessions with me, because then we can go somewhere. Yet at the same time though, it's like, go get nutrition from somebody else. Go get Reiki from somebody else. Go go do these different things to get different perspectives, because it's taking a wheelhouse to get us through this muck that we're going through.
Or bring them all together for one day.
Exactly. I love how you circled that around. Thank you. I was going to go there myself. So with that it is amazing that you can. And this is not going to be the last class we're going to do like this. This is the beginning of the journey that we're going to stepstone it. And what's the next one's going to be? We're kind of talking about what, January, February?
Probably more like January. It'll roll out beforehand, but the class itself will start in January. And there's a couple different options, and we're going to announce that at the event on the 30th.
I'm excited. I am excited. This event, I'm calling it, that we're together with, it's just, I'm excited because it's going to be life-changing for so many people, because people are going to hear that it's okay, that they're okay.
Yeah.
That they're not weird.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody else is weird. We're not weird. Mm-hmm. That part of us that is feeling so off right now is actually the part that can feel on, and everything else can feel off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's a big part. One of the things I was thinking about on the 30th, and that's one of the things I've built with my, so I have a private group that's Journeying with Jessica, but it's private.
Mm-hmm.
And in that group, it's more about like community. And I was thinking about that with this Jumpstart Your Spiritual Journey that we're all doing together. And it's about that community that's coming together, and it's building that safe place for you to be like, yeah, I know, like, no one is saying you need to be Christian, you need to be Wiccan, you need to be, no one is saying what faith and belief you have to have. It's accept that there's this connection, and accept that there's this truth, and then process it how it fits for you.
Mm-hmm.
But having another community that is fully accepting of everything, and just being like, no, yeah, that's cool. If that's how that process for you, that's awesome. And being able to get through that. Now, and I say that because I get labeled all the time, and I love it, because like people will be like, oh, I don't like labels. Well, yeah. And then they turn around and put a label on it. Like, there's no volume of language that has been created around spiritual beliefs, source, all these different things is like on steroids right now.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, prior to everything and the new technology that makes it so easy to communicate, we would say, no, I saw, and it was blue, and then it was kind of warm. But then I started hearing someone's voice, and now it's just like, oh yeah, that's a light beam. Like, okay, that's what this was, and blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, that was St. Michael, and blah, 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 blah. Or that's this particular guide, and blah, 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 blah. People didn't have guide, light being,
Mm-hmm.
and even like, St. Michael, whatever, like depending on where they were at, they didn't have the language for it. So it's kind of funny, because here we are in an environment where everyone says, oh yeah, Veronica, I saw that. We are super excited for it too.
Yes.
With it. Natasha's taking 2 classes.
Yes. Veronica, she's been with me. She's been a friend. This woman has gone from this to this. It's been, I'm just so in awe of witnessing her over the last several years that she's been in our life. So I just want to say that.
Awesome.
So keep going. I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. So like, without labels, that's where we're coming from. There's no one that's leading you in any direction. It's here, each one of these classes, you can be in this experience. You can learn, and you're learning it from all these different perspectives, and everyone has different beliefs and faiths. And so it's just wonderful, because I forever just kept getting labeled, and I was like, I'm just kind of everything. And there's not a word for everything. Oh, It's like, no, I'm spirit connected. How's that? It's there's no name. You know what though? Give it 10 minutes. There'll be a hot minute go past and they'll have a name for it. And someone's gonna send it to me. There'll be and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And the beauty is having this environment where you can come into a community and really experience 100% acceptance. You can really experience this situation where we're like, we have worksheets, we have exercises. This
Mhm.
isn't just us talking. Like right now, I love you to death, but we're just talking, right? And so, like, when you come into this, we were almost called it a workshop because this whole event is like, this is the actions you're taking and
Yes.
to experience them, to have the ability to have questions answered and to see how it goes through for everyone else. And in the same time, while this is going on, you're meeting other people that are interested in the same thing as you. So now you're not necessarily
Feeling
going alone, and you
exactly.
have this common ground to start the conversation in. Because how many social groups have you joined in communities where I've joined and I'm like in this group and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I've realized I'm a stalker because I don't know what to say. And
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like, where do I even start the conversation? Which is, I mean, I'm a Gemini, so I can't imagine what it's like for other people. And so now we're gonna have a community that's built up and everyone's on the same page. So now you have a place to start, right? Everyone's sitting at Great Clips to get a haircut. Oh, like, I like your hair. So you can start the conversation.
Yes.
The same thing, like, hey, this class, I learned this. Me too. And now you can finally have connections to start relationships and start building this community of unconditional support on your spiritual journey and growth. And that's why it's really geared towards any part, because I practice completely different than you, than
Mhm.
Susie, than Abby, than Ken. Every one of us practices completely different. Yeah, there's crossover, obviously, because we all have the same like concepts and like we don't all get different messages, people. It's delivered different ways so you can receive it, but it's the same freaking message.
It is.
So yeah, it just depends on how you receive it, how your brain processes it, and how you put it back out there. And so with us, we're able to go like, hey, have you tried this? Have you tried that? That's why both of us are going to go take care of this new house. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. It's going to be community and I love it.
It is, it is, it is. We may be the starter, but yet it's not going to be the finisher because it is
Yeah.
going to take community. It's
Yeah.
going to take someone coming in who's taking the class going, wait a minute, did you notice this was in the corner? And you've been in the house for so long that you didn't notice that it was in the corner.
Oh yeah.
Unless somebody says something, one of your team members. I know that I've had things in my house and it's like, no, I didn't know that. But thank
Yeah.
you for letting me know that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It is about finding peace. And I know for me that whoever holds in my class, I don't judge. I can't judge. Why should I judge? And because it's part of life. We all have a life. We've all had a life. I understand past lives like they were my yesterday, or
Mhm.
even 10 minutes ago. It's just one of those things that we go through life. But I'm going to say, though, that when you go through a spiritual awakening and a spiritual knowing, you have to know. And this is part of the key that there's something greater out there. And a lot of times, that's the word I use. I believe in the greater,
Mhm.
the greater love, the
Mhm.
greaterness of things. And as we go and as we walk through life, it's amazing how we have to understand, and I'm just saying it's a have to, that there's more to us than just what we hear and see.
Well, you just see mine. I mean, it's loaded already. So many.
But it's the reality. It's the reality, and there's not the same reality for everybody. Just like right now on my thing, it says there's only 2 people watching. I just checked Facebook, and there's over 20 people watching.
Mhm. Yeah.
So reality isn't always the way that we see it, the way that it's in. And that's where, the difference between, I think, like you and I and somebody else is trust. Trust that when I get a message for somebody or something, I have to trust. Now, I have to be careful how I deliver it. Yet, I have to trust that there's a reason for this message. And that discernment is part of that deliverance. What we were talking the other night about watching Ghost with I said it was Ghost Whisperer, I think. And it was a
Something.
show where she was a medium, and she the spirit would say something like, Joe went to the store, and she'd say, yeah, they wanted you to stop at the store. And I'm like going, that's not the message. Say the message. And so integrity, and that's the thing that I noticed, that as I awoken, my integrity, I had to walk with more integrity than I ever had before. And believe me, I tried to walk with integrity my whole life. That's who I was. I mean, I went to, one of my main guides is St. Peter. How can you steal when you have St. Peter as your guide? I'm just saying, you don't do much wrong when you have St. Peter. He was Peter, my friend, walking with me, because I didn't have very many friends when I was growing up. That's another thing. A lot of people who are very much themselves don't have very many friends. And so Peter walking with me, it was like, yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you can do that, but you don't want to do that. And I'm like going, okay. And I was so shy, I didn't do anything anyways. It's like, so with that we all have these things, but walking more with integrity with our bodies, integrity with our minds, because when you get to be more in alignment, you're manifesting things left and right with what you're saying. And it's a practice that practice makes better. Like I had a mentor that we worked with the 7 deadly sins, and you learned what gluttony was. And what's the other side of gluttony? It was the where you really care about other people too much. It's the either take care of yourself or the gluttony, and how to sit in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
And that was I love that class. It was really cool she said, because one of our days was to have gluttony for at least half the day, and how hard it was not to get up and do dishes, or get up and take a shower, or get up and feed the dog, or, we had to be selfish.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how to manage that part of us that we fall into. And yet, really, are we actually it's like we think that we don't want to do something, but we're always doing it for somebody else or doing things. And it's like you really start observing yourself a little bit differently when you go into the spiritual walk. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I really hope, because we're down to we're getting close to 5 o'clock. And I know that you,
I gotta go.
I know I can tell in your energy. It's like, okay, we're coming up on the hour. Not because you don't love being here. It's just
Right.
your list is like getting longer as you've been sitting here in this hour.
Yeah.
And I've been so grateful that you spent this hour with us. Thank you so much. It's been a gift. So with that, you can get a hold of Jessica by going to Journeying with Jessica. You're on right now on Facebook and Instagram.
TikTok, Instagram. I think that's it.
Yeah. And then you're going to be leaving those guys. That's not here yet, so I'm not going to mention. So with that, and then we're going to be doing this wonderful application of having permission to wake up.
Yeah.
Having permission to wake up with that part of our soul that has been, can I please have some voice? And how do you get a hold of, if you can mention that, because that's right on the top of your head. How can people get a hold of?
Definitely share the link, but it's, so the name of this event is awesome. It's Jumpstart Your Spiritual Journey. So if you think about those 5 letters, JSYSJ.info. That's how you find out. So it's Jumpstart Your Spiritual Journey, JSYSJ.info, INFO. And that's how you can get all the information. Or you can definitely go to journeyingwithjessica.com and get it on there, or any of our other social media sites. It's all over the place.
Yes, because I know that I have shared it on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then LinkedIn, and then I've also going to put it on my website. I just didn't get it there. Something else came up that was a wonderful gift for me, so I didn't get it there today like I had intended.
Right.
So blessings. And if anybody's looking for anything, know that Jessica is a blessing. She has her style and I have mine. I'm Natasha Venter, medium, intuitive, personal awareness coach. And that's why I'm a personal awareness coach, because I like to bring awarenesses to life. And that's why the universe, I think, gave me angelic clarifications, because I do it. I give clarifications in life with a little bit of touch of love, understanding, grace, and a little bit of light. If you want a little pepper, you go to Jessica. If you want a little bit of cream and sugar, you come to me.
Yeah.
So blessings to all. And, please reach out, because right now we're all in the pot stirring moment, and you can't do it alone, and you shouldn't do it alone. And I know a lot of people are thinking about, they don't want to be here anymore. Please stick around, because you never know what the next moment is going to be like. There's miracles dancing around the corners every day, every moment of life. Please keep believing. This is Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com. Bye.